want you to take a moment and imagine something. Imagine that you are 22 years old. You're going to college. You're working at a dead-end job. You have a girlfriend. But basically, for the most part, you are living to party on Friday nights. And that's kind of what your entire life revolves around at this one time. Now imagine what can actually stop that. What can change the path and the direction that you're on. For me, that was one simple statement. 2 words. I'm pregnant. At the time, that was possibly the worst news that I felt like I could get. I had kind of the youth cut short. No more going out when I want, doing what I want. Now it's time to buckle down, and I'm going to have to figure out how to start a family. So people come in the military for different reasons. Some come in for family tradition. Others come in for the education. I personally came in to start a family and I felt I needed a way to start a family and support a family very quickly. All right, so now you understand the basics of why I joined the military. Let's go ahead and to get to the full story. Let's go ahead to the beginning of how it all started. My girlfriend and I met in high school in 1993 as freshmen. We met on the stage during picture day. My last name started with S. Her last name started with a T. So we were standing beside each other. Within a week, kind of hit it off, started talking, started dating a couple weeks later. Your typical high school couple going out on the weekends, to the mall, to the movies, things like that. We did have some small fights, but they were huge back then. But for now, they'd be, on today's standards, they'd be pretty trivial. But just like everything, it has to come to an end. And so did high school. And when high school came to an end, we had to decide where to go next. So we met in high school, but now what are we going to do in college? We started college at 2 different colleges. I went down into Jefferson while she stayed in our local town and went to the Ohio Valley Business College. We were only 40 miles apart, so everything still stayed together. We still stayed a couple. And we actually got engaged in our 3rd year of college. But just like high school, everything has to come to an end. And it did with this. My 3rd year into my 2-year degree, we broke up. We decided to go our separate ways for mutual reasons. But that wasn't the end of the story. That's not where it stopped. And a phone call would actually change my life forever. I got that phone call when I was at work, and she told me that we needed to talk, we needed to speak in private. So we got together, and she came out pretty blunt and said, I'm pregnant. My first reaction was, how did that happen? Well, it was a pretty obvious answer. But as everything swimming in my head, everything got really surreal, and I figured I needed a job. To fill the void for that job, I had one option. I looked to the military. That recruiter promised to solve all these problems that were going on. So my 5th week into the military, I called home, got to talk to her, and she stated, I'm not pregnant. So now I'm sitting there thinking, well, probably something you could have told me a little bit ago. Maybe 5 weeks before I left, or 5 weeks ago before I had actually came to the military. But you would think that someone would be upset. I did decide just to go ahead and stay in the military. And that, in essence, is why I joined the military. So we can recap. I came in because my girlfriend was pregnant. And although I thought it was the worst thing that could possibly happen at that time, it ended up to be one of the greatest things to ever happen to me. My girlfriend at the time is now my wife of 12 years. And that mistake that we thought we had in the year 2000 ended up to be my first son in 2001. So people come to the military for different reasons, all right? Whether it be your education or money or to start a family. But whenever somebody asks me, they usually get a small chuckle when they say, hey, Springer, why did you come into the military? And I tell them I came in the military because of a faulty pregnancy test.